Gabby Betterly, Levi Bordeaux, Micah Bordeaux, Lillian Brumball, Caitlin Bryant, Doug Canizaro, Annika Carpenter, Ben Claghorn, Chloe Couch, Sarah Christ, Taylin Culver, Adeline Cuddy, Skylar Daniels, Georgia Denny, Claire Eckert, Owen Follis, Lucy Fritz, Carissa Gasper, Ava Geiger, Seth Gilbert, Javin Gray. Javin, hold tight just a second. Sorry. Isaac Grogg, Penelope Harrell, Julian Haskett, Hannah Huppert, Olivia Hernandez, Luke Hill, Audrey Hicks, Haley Hoffman, Emma Hoey, Wes Hotchkiss, Emma Johnson, Kira Klepper, Mia Klein, McKenna Landrum, Marissa Lamar, Marcus Linker, Mason Lush, Cadence Massengill, Ella McDaniel, Elena Mendez, Grace Michael, Hayden Miller, Isabella Miller, Aiden Milton, Serenity Mitchum, Caden Moore, Cameron Moore, Leah Morrison, Kata Newman, Ella Newton, Isabella Neiman, Elijah Oswald, Braylon Pelfrey, Gwen Penrod, Shane Plaster, Lily Poling, Madison Pyatt, Logan Richardson, Max Robrock, Luke Runyon, Charlie Rupert, Paige Russell, Molly Schindler, Lola Ann Smith, Timmerie Smith, Caitlin Sparks, Dixie Spieth, Jacelyn Sunderman, Jason Toish, Marissa Trout, Holland Updike, Malia Warpup, Evie Webb, Madeline Wellman, Maya Wolf. A number of fantastic Vikings, and thanks for such supportive parents who've raised these outstanding academic students. So thanks for letting us work with them every day.
All right. At this point, we will turn it over to our Director of Guidance, Mrs. Herendeen, for some important information for the senior parents in the class of 2025.
Hello, good evening, and welcome. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It's really good to see all of you. I'm Taylor Herendeen, the Director of Guidance at Huntington North. This is my first year in this role as Director of Guidance, but it's my 5th year as a school counselor at Huntington North. And this class specifically, the class of 2025, holds a special place in my heart because it's the first cohort that I will have seen from beginning with 8th grade scheduling and now standing in front of you talking about what life after high school looks like. So this is very exciting. And this parent night is a little bit extra special this year. To kick off the presentation, we have a special guest, Dr. Jones.
I'm almost there. I thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Okay. All right, here I am. Okay. I have to use the mic this time because they said they're recording it. So they want me to use the mic. Yeah, you might want to move that. That's a foot you might want to keep. Yeah, you might like that. Yeah. Hello, everyone. How are you? You all doing okay? Oh, I'm well. Thank you. Who said that? Thank you. Thank you. In addition to not being able to walk, I can't see. Now, those of you who know me, this is the story, right? I have a 1500, you're like this, you guys, Ram Classic SLT truck. Can't see a thing. Go to Elkhart, I've killed 2 deer. They have meetings when they see me coming and say, here she is. What we gonna do? How we gonna do this? So I wanna let you know that with a deer guard, I'm going to leave first. You should be happy about that. Or you can leave first, but you don't want us to leave at the same time. Okay? I am Dr. Jones. I'm with the Indiana Commission for Higher Education. And I do a lot of things. I love what I do. I really do. I've been doing this for almost 47 years now. And it's almost time to sit down. I have 8 of my own children, 33 of my own grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild that can do no wrong. He can do no wrong. So primarily when I first started doing this, I started working with 21st century scholars. I want to talk to seniors specifically, not just scholars, just seniors, because sometimes I get a little frustrated. I don't mean to, and I try to not have an off-putting personality. Oh, isn't that cute? You all gonna put that on a jacket or something? You are? Where's the jacket? You gotta buy it, they don't give you the jacket. Isn't that something? You mean to tell me you get a letter and no jacket? Well, we're gonna have to do something about that, okay? I hope you do. I'm just gonna get you in trouble. I'm not gonna do a thing. I get a little frustrated when I see students not take academics seriously. I'm clear, I'm crystal that everyone's not going to college. And I'm also crystal that everyone shouldn't go to college. I have a grandson, and if he walks by a college, they should arrest him. He shouldn't go in to use the bathroom, get water, nothing. He's an iron worker, journeyman. He's been to Paris twice. He's been to Paris once, Africa twice. He built DuPont, Parkview, all that stuff. That's what he needs to be doing. He don't even look at a college. He needs to be arrested. Okay. It's not for everyone, but something after college is for all of us. And what we don't want to do is close doors, right? Right? We don't want to close doors. So, look at that. Now, y'all say what you want to, but that's a good picture. That's the picture right there, boy. That's the picture right there, boy. And what's my favorite color? I keep telling people, I don't know why we have a problem with that. This is a really good website for all seniors. This is a great website. It's a great website for everyone. This is a good website. The FAFSA is important. Seniors, listen, listen. Last year we had all kind of trouble with the FAFSA because it was new, right? So those of you who filled it out, had siblings, it was a mess. Anything that's new, it's always going to be difficult, but it's worth it. Once we get the kinks out of it, well, the federal government, not me, don't get mad at me. Once they get the kinks out of it, it's going to be okay. It's not going to take as long to do. But you have to fill out your FAFSA. What's the state priority submission deadline? Does anyone know? Who said it? Who said something over here? That's when it comes out. What is the deadline for submitting the 2025, are we in 2025? Was it 2025, 2026 FAFSA? April 15th. That's the submission deadline. You submitted April 16th, you go into another pile, if we got money left over, pile. There is something to be said about meeting deadlines. There is something to be said about meeting deadlines. You meet deadlines, okay? We don't decide we're not going to meet deadlines. The FAFSA is supposed to come out October 1st. It's not. It's not. It's going to come out to a small group of people and a small select group of students and schools to test it and see if they figured out something. And they haven't, okay? So, but fill out the FAFSA. You need an FSA ID. You can get that today when you go home. You can go to studentaid.gov. I'm going to wait for you to get your phones out and put that in your phone. I'm going to wait because I saw you were getting ready to do it. I thought, well, why do I keep talking? I'm just going to wait for you to get your phones out. You're going to go to studentaid.gov, AID.gov, and you can get your FSA ID. You must have an FSA ID to electronically sign the FAFSA. You've got to have it. Parents, if you've never filled out a FAFSA for a sibling or for a child or for yourself, you have to have one. It used to take about 15 or 20 minutes to get an FSA ID. Now it takes about a day or two. So go on and get it. While you're waiting, go on and get the FSA ID. Okay? Get that. You can all get that done. How many of you understand why you fill out the FAFSA? Why are we filling it out? What are we trying to get? Money. Exactly. That's what we're trying to get. And for those who say, I know my child's not going to be eligible for anything because I just went and looked at the money tree and it's still growing. I got you. I understand that. But we still fill it out because there are some schools that still require you fill it out before they even consider you for any kind of aid. There are always priority deadlines, seniors and parents. Purdue has a priority deadline. Usually it's November 1st. That means you get all your stuff in by then, they look at you first. IU has a priority deadline. Schools have deadlines. You've got to find it out. And no one is going to come and knock on your door and say, hey, I came here because I just want to tell you what's going on. We have something called, whatever y'all call it, website, internet, whatever it's called today, get on it. Use your phone. Figure out how to get this done. You go to studentaid.gov and you get your FSA ID. Do not get discouraged when you go to that site and you say, well, this is too difficult. Okay, and so it's difficult. If you think it's difficult, so you've had things that have been difficult before. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Just keep working at it. This site here talks about the FAFSA. It talks about your career discovery meetings that is required for seniors to do. And how do you do them? You create a Scholar Track account. Seniors, you create a Scholar Track account. The legislature was passed. You do it 1 year in junior year, one in your senior year. The reason you didn't do it in your senior year is because last year was a pilot year. It is required unless you opt out, and your counselor can talk to you more about that. But you have to do it on Scholar Track. So all of you need to, I'm going to wait while you get your phones out again, scholartrack.gov. ScholarTrack is one word. Track is T-R-A-C-K. Where your phone? Oh, okay, I'll wait. Okay. I was going to say, why don't you have a phone? Who didn't get you a phone? Where they at? I was going to say something because you deserve a phone. Okay? You come up here with no phone. No. ScholarTrack.in.gov. You go to that website, ScholarTrack.in.gov. Why is that important? When you get in college and you need to know about satisfactory academic progress and what's happening, your ScholarTrack account will have that. When you want to know where your state money is going to, your ScholarTrack account will have that. You want to know what's going on with your credit bank? ScholarTrack will have that. You want to do an appeal because you got sick and you could not finish, so therefore you didn't make your credit completion and you won't get Franco-Bannon or something and you need to do an appeal. You can only do an appeal to us through a full ScholarTrack account. So when you create your account tonight, you're going to do it with your Social Security number. ScholarTrack.in.gov. ScholarTrack.in.gov. You want to go there. StudentAid.gov. You're going to do your FSA ID. All of these things are important. And you're old enough and you're smart enough to get this done. I used to tell students when I go around, when Thanksgiving break comes, all this is supposed to be done. You are not supposed to be leaving for Thanksgiving break, and now you got to figure out what you're going to do. Have all of this done. Have your FSA ID, have your FAFSA filled out already. Make sure you have your ScholarTrack account created. Make sure you've got your career discovery meetings. Your counselor will talk to you about that. All of this is to be done. It's to be done. You're supposed to be able to go and relax and actually have a break. Okay? Now, do you get extra money if you have a Core 40 with honors? Who has Core 40 with honors? Do you get extra money? You don't know? I'm going to need you to know. I'm going to need you to know. What's your name? And what sport do you play? I know you play something. Good grief. Okay, you do. You get extra money if you have a Core 40 with honors. It used to be you would get it all through school, through college. Now, you get a certain amount depending upon what your GPA. You got a Core 40. And as long as you keep a 3-point, I think it's a 3.0, all through college, you get extra money. Okay? There's some other things you have to do, but you need to know that. And how can you find this kind of stuff? Because it's online. Okay? Core 40 with honors. You all need to understand. You got all of you seniors over here. Did all of you get a letter? Who didn't get a letter? Everybody better get a letter. Who didn't get a coat? None of y'all. Y'all didn't get. Y'all got to do better than this. You're going to have a meeting and find out where the jackets are. Okay. I'm not asking. There's something called pre-admissions. Pay attention. Last time I was here, I couldn't talk about this. Last time I was here, I couldn't talk about it. Where are the principals at? Why couldn't I talk about it? Do you remember why? Because you all didn't opt into pre-admissions last year. This year you did. So I want to tell you what and I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want you all to be mad at them and tar and feather them. I didn't want that to happen. So I didn't say anything about it. Pre-admissions means this. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. I'm getting ready to say something profound. You are going to love it. What's your name? Look at you. I knew you were an Adeline. I could tell. Yes, you're going to love it. Seniors, you're going to love it. I'm getting ready to tell you something. Last year was the first year that the state of Indiana participated in pre-admissions. We had 38 colleges in the state of Indiana that said, if students in Indiana receive a certain GPA, whatever it was, I don't care, remember. Some schools said they had to have a certain GPA. Some schools said they had to have a certain GPA and an SAT score. But all of them had a GPA involved. If they have it, we will pre-admit them into our school. What? You said what now? So we had 38. We had some students that got pre-admitted into all 38 schools. Now you tell me how you feel when you get a letter to your house saying congratulations. You have been pre-admitted. And all the schools are listed there. They will also be on the ScholarTrack account that you're going to create today or tomorrow. They'll be listed there. The letters for August have went out. Don't ask me why, but you're going to get a letter in August that tells you a letter is coming in September. Don't ask, Don't ask me. I don't want to get into that conversation again. I didn't win. I don't want to talk about it. This is a wonderful thing. There are 39 colleges this year participating. You're going to get pre-admitted, depending upon your GPA. Everyone is going to get pre-admitted into at least 3. Now, I told you there are 39, so you know what you do. When you get the letter, you're supposed to start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and see how many. I want you to get a letter. It was so important. I worked really hard for you all to get letters. If I had not gotten your STN numbers, your addresses, your GPAs, you wouldn't have gotten the numbers. We can't mail the letters if we don't know where you live. If we got duplicate accounts, I worked all summer. I sent so many emails. And Miss Hinder, pronounce the last name. The counselor who was up here. Heraldine? Oh, I got to figure this out. I got a speech impediment. Heraldine. I did this last time I was here. I'm really trying to do better. Heraldine, okay. She worked with me and worked with me and worked with me. I'm telling you, I could just feel her anxiety because I kept sending emails, I have 2 students. I need to know which one am I keeping. I got students with duplicate accounts. I don't have an address. I don't have an STN. I need help. I can't do it. I need you to help me. What do you need? And then there was a secretary here that was also helping. For you, they were doing this so we could get this information. You should be getting your letters. If you do not get a letter, it's because we didn't get the information. That's just it. I didn't get the information in time. You'll get a September letter. But the letters are on the website. So if you go to this website, is there someone up there? Anybody up there? Oh, there you go. I'm looking up. Can you go to, oh, look at that. She's cute. Can you go to where it says college discovery? And would you go down to where it says Indiana pre-admissions, please? You so nice. Thank you for helping me. Okay, you see this? Now go all the way down. All of this is going to tell you about pre-admissions. You see? It's going to tell you all about that. Keep going. And they're all, look at all these schools. Look. Look at that. Don't that make you feel good? I mean, for real. I know how I felt when I got a letter saying that I was going to some kind of rinky-dink school. I don't know what the school was. I think it was a dog catching school. I felt, oh my goodness, I'm going to a dog catching school. Look at this. And then they have some other stuff up there where you can actually see the letter. There's a parent letter and a student letter, but this makes you feel good. That's why I was struggling. And my supervisor says, well, Doc, they're going to get it on Scholar Track. I know, but I want the letter in the hand so the parents can frame it, so they can see it, so they can feel good about themselves. That's what I want. I want that experience for them. So seniors, if you don't get a letter, I'm not the one. Who can I blame? The counselor over there, that man over there was sitting there, and I was walking down there, and I told me a nice smile. Blame him. Because he didn't have anything to do with it either, but I think something tells me, because he's real tall, I think he can handle it. Okay? So all of this going to tell you everything. You can go up there. This is not just for 21st century scholars. Students in the state of Indiana, the first time for pre-admissions was last year. And now Huntington College opted into pre-admissions this year. Schools had a choice whether they wanted to be in pre-admissions. Last year, Huntington didn't do it. They could have just been waiting to see how it was going to work. There's nothing wrong with that. This year, next year, the juniors will be asking for the same thing. The STNs, addresses, we try to clean it up so that we can get your letters. We're going to have so many letters come back because the addresses will be wrong. So I could have gotten everything, but the addresses was wrong. It could be that just instead of aura, maybe I put, and I know I say my auras with 2 syllables. That's what happens when you come from where I come from. So maybe it was supposed to be aura O something, and I put RD. I don't know what's going on. But if you want a letter, you got to say something to your counselor, and your counselor will say something, but you can download the letter also. But the ones that you get to your home have your names on them. That's why we got a vendor and all that stuff. This is exciting. Pre-admissions. Would you also, where are you at? Where's you? There you go. Would you also go up, please, for me? Okay. And then would you click on that Learn More? Look, yeah, the little guy with the hat on, po baby. Okay. And then you see where it says Paying for College? Okay. Look at that. 529 playing. That's resources there. See where it says FAFSA? The FAFSA is there. Go to Resource Hub for me over to the right. If you look at that, all of this is so much information. You can find just about everything you want. It can take you down a rabbit hole. And I know that some of you do that with your phones. I'm gonna need you to use your phone for something else. I'm gonna need you to use it for something else. This is really important. Now, how many people in here have athletic scholarships? What do you do? Softball. Isn't that so? That's nice. Now, where are you going? Goshen, that's a wonderful place, okay? Goshen is a private school, so you know that you're going to have to get some scholarships and stuff, right? Did they give you a nice package? Is it going to be all the time? Look at the small print. It's 4 years? What GPA do you have to keep? Okay, you can do that, right? All right, good. Okay, this is the only person in here with a what's up with that? That's okay. That's okay. I don't believe that. You just don't want to tell me. I got it. You just don't want to tell me. I got it. Okay. Financial aid, look at that. File the FAFSA. You see that right there? Look, you see that? Indiana pre-admissions. If you are a scholar, if you are a 21st century scholar in here, you've got some things you have to do. You have no choice. If you want your scholarship, you've got to do a ScholarTrack account, a full one. You have to make sure that you do not have your school email, because when you graduate, the email is gone and you can't get into your account. You have to fill out that FAFSA by April 15th. It must be done by April 15th. You've got 12 activities you should have been doing all year long. If not, we can take care of that. And when you get into school, you've got 30 credits you have to have every year. There are lots of things you have to do. But all of you have to do excellent work. So, what's the name of the website you're going to go to do your FSA ID? What? I'll wait. Who said that? Well, look at you. Thank you. So you didn't want me to wait too long? Okay, I don't blame you because it was going to get ugly. Studentaid.gov, very good. And what is the FSA ID? What do you need it for? to sign, electronically sign. Do your parents need one? Yes, at least one, okay? College Goals Sunday. Parents, if you've never filled out a FAFSA, where's College Goals Sunday at here? Is it at Huntington University or is it Ivy Tech? Where is it? In Huntington County, where did you usually have College Goals Sunday? They used to have two of them, one in November and one in February, but they probably won't have one until February. But you can go there and they'll help you fill out the FAFSA. They will help you. Go just Google College Goals Sunday in Indiana, and Indiana started College Goals Sunday. Indiana's the one that started that. So they'll help you do that, okay? Why do you need to fill out a ScholarTrack? Why do you need to do a ScholarTrack account? What can you learn from having a ScholarTrack account? Oh, you don't mind me standing up here now, huh? What, yes? No? You know? Okay. You got to have, what? You can see your pre-admissions with a full ScholarTrack account. Full is with your Social Security number, okay? Anything else I need to say? Did I say everything? Did I talk about ScholarTrack, 21st century scholars? 21st century scholars, don't lose this scholarship because you didn't do everything you were supposed to do. Priority deadline. Who's thinking about going to Purdue? West Lafayette? Okay. They have priority deadlines. What about IU? What about Notre Dame? Okay? Schools have priority deadlines. And you know what? Schools have waiting lists around this building, outside, and down the street. They don't need you. They would like to. But if you decide you're going to turn stuff in late, they have as many people that are sitting in here and more that turned it in on time. That turned it in on time. Okay, questions? Anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions? Okay, okay. Now I want to tell you something. This is just a little aside. I have a grandson. Well, if you got 8 children and 33 grandchildren, of course some of them have to be boys, right? I have a grandson, and he plays football. He's playing, I'm not going to tell you the name of the school, but he got a sack, knocked somebody else down, ran over someone else. I was watching it on the thing that you watch on, and I was going, oh, good, good. I just love it when they beat up people. You know, it's just a wonderful thing, especially when it's not your child getting beat up. You see what I'm saying? And he's a sophomore. He's a sophomore, and he's on the varsity team. So I'm really nice to him because you see I'm in this walker, right? And eventually I'm not going to be able to do this, and I'm going to need somebody to take care of me, and he's going to be it. He's going to be it. Okay, everyone's okay? All right, then. Thank you all. I appreciate you so much. Okay, are you sure I took care of everything?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. I do not know how you followed that, but I sure will try. So back to the presentation. Before we get into some more information about life after high school, I just want to take a minute to introduce a couple of teams within the school. And these are people that you may have had conversations with throughout your high school career. You've seen them post Parent Square notifications, maybe sent emails back and forth, but it's nice to put a face to a name. For me, I like to do that. Okay, so first for our administration team, we are blessed to have a wonderful administration team, and starting with our principal, Mr. McLaughlin, our associate principal, Mr. Hamill. We have assistant principal, Ms. Brown, Mrs. Rogers and Mr. Draper. They are our assistant principals in the attendance and discipline office. And then Ms. Drummond, she is the principal of the Learning Center. The guidance department this year, if you have been around for a while or have older children that have went through Huntington North, looks a little bit different this year. We've had a lot of really great and exciting changes that have happened, and I want to introduce our team to you. We have 5 counselors at the high school. We have Mr. Campbell, Mr. Gross, myself, Mr. Palmer. You may recognize him from the math department. He has joined us in the counseling side. And then Mrs. Thompson. She doesn't have a picture yet because she is new to our corporation. She's not new to school counseling, but she is new to the high school, and we're very excited to have her. The bottom left, you'll see Mrs. Patrick. She's our guidance secretary, and she does a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, and parents and students communicate with her often. She's amazing, and we couldn't do what we do without her. The bottom right are just 2 additional people that you may receive information or communication from this school year. Mrs. Forgy is one of our secretaries and graduation coordinators, and then Mrs. Brimberry is our Viking Success Coordinator. In the middle, sorry Marie, can you go back? In the middle, that is the list of counselor breakdown, and this is for this class of 2025 for seniors only. Okay, again, it goes by last name. Okay, so hopefully you all received a handout when you walked in tonight. The one handout, that little half sheet that looks like the left side of the screen, that is going to be the most useful tool that you will use throughout your student's senior year of high school. Okay, so what that looks like, hopefully it looks like your cell phone, and it looks like a website, and that's exactly what the guidance website will look like on your phone. There's a QR code in the middle. If you scan that on your handout, it will take you right to the guidance website. And the little plus sign that's circled and has an arrow to it, once you're on the website, if you click that plus sign, it will allow you to drop down a list of all sorts of resources that Dr. Jones was talking about. So the FAFSA information, all of those links are on there. So if you don't remember that website that she was talking about, all of it can be found on our guidance page. Senior meeting. So the reason that we have senior parent night at the time of the year that we do is because all of us counselors have started meeting with your seniors individually starting last week. Okay, these meetings will last up until we start fall break, and they take so long because there's so much information to cover. Okay, the meeting is 100% individualized for each of your students, and we go over a lot of information. So they could take 30, 45 minutes or more. All of your students will leave a senior meeting with this red folder, okay, and inside this folder there's a lot of information. So the left side, that's required information that we need back in the guidance department. That's required for graduation. Okay, the right side of the folder, that's information that talks about your students' graduation progress, where they're at with credits, what diploma they're earning, graduation pathways, all sorts of stuff can be found in this folder. So if you've seen this folder sitting around at home, or if you haven't seen it, ask your student, because there's so much information to be involved in. It's such an exciting time. And if you have any questions about any of that stuff, inside the flap, your student's counselor information will be on there. Give us a call, send us an email. We want to help. Again, every single student's senior meeting is geared towards what they want to do after high school, okay? Whether that's furthering their education and going to college, enlisting in the military, joining the workforce. We talk about what your student wants to do, and if they don't know, we talk about that too. The rest of this information is really going to be geared towards life after high school, let's go to college, because there is so much information that can be covered. And what we talk about tonight will be brief, and it is, student and parent responsibility to look into all of this stuff individually. However, we want to help, and so if we can answer any questions for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. There are 3 main components to applying to college: the college application, sending the transcript, and submitting test scores. There are a couple of ways that students can apply for college. One can be on that school's website individually, or there's a website called Common App. And Common App is designed for students who plan to apply for multiple universities. Okay, so if a student goes to Purdue Fort Wayne's website and they apply individually, but they also plan to apply 3 other places, they're going to enter in their information, like their name, GPA, extracurriculars, all of that stuff several times. Common App, you put that information in one time, and you can apply to multiple universities at once. Now, the downside to Common App is not every college is on there, so before you start that process, you'll want to make sure that your student's college or university is on that list to make sure that it's worthwhile. Dr. Jones was right about deadlines. Okay, please don't miss them. Okay, again, November 1st is a good priority deadline. She mentioned Purdue, IU, but for most colleges and university, November 1st is that deadline. Okay, check each school's website constantly for updates, because college, the nice thing and the unfortunate thing about college is they all do things a little bit differently. Okay, so make sure that you're checking with updates. College Go Week, this is a really nice time for students to apply to college, because college applications can get pretty expensive. Okay, so normally each time you apply to a college, you have to pay a fee, sometimes up to $65, $70. College Go Week is a week at the end of September where some of the schools in Indiana, and they're listed on the screen, we'll post that on our social media and Parent Square as well, but those are the lists of colleges in Indiana that have chosen to waive their application fee during this week. I always tell my students that even if you see a school on that list, maybe it's not in your top 3, top 5, but if you see a school on that list that's free, you're not out anything other than your time. So apply anyways. This is a great chance to apply. So make sure you take the time to do that if your school's on that list. Colleges want your transcripts. I've gotten several emails already so far this school year about, please send my transcript to Ball State. How do I send my transcript to St. Francis? And I always respond back with Parchment. Parchment is our electronic delivery system for an official high school transcript. Okay, that's how colleges want them. So you'll go to Parchment. Again, that's just a snippet from our website. You can click on the link right from there. You'll create an account. Students, you'll create an account with your personal email address. That's really important that you use personal email address, because you'll want access to this even after high school. Okay, and it will walk you through the steps on how to submit your transcript to the college. It can be a little overwhelming and confusing at first, so if you need help, bring your computer to Mrs. Patrick. She's a Parchment genius, okay? She's awesome at that stuff. She's absolutely willing to help. A lot of students have taken advantage of dual credits at high school, and those students that are planning to further their education after high school, you're going to want credit for those classes that you took, okay? So you can't just tell the college, I promise I took speech in high school, right? They want to have proof of that on a transcript. So on our website, again, you'll select transcript, and then under Parchment, it's university transcripts, and you'll click on the institution that you took the class from. Maybe it's several, maybe it's all of them. And how you know that is on your student's transcript, which they get a copy at their senior meeting. There's classes listed on the left side, and the institution that they took the class from is listed in parentheses. So it'll say Ivy Tech, or it'll say HU. Okay, so it will be listed there, so you'll know exactly where to order that transcript from. Dual credit transcripts, they do cost money. but high school transcripts do not. ACT and SAT testing has changed a little bit over the years. So all of your students last year as juniors took the SAT during the school day at Huntington North last year. Senior year is a great opportunity for your students to retake that SAT on a weekend. Okay, so they'll sign up for that on College Board, or if they choose ACT. And the reason for that varies on what college you want to attend. Okay, so some schools, it used to be where you had to have a certain SAT score to be admitted into college. Now there's a lot of money in scholarships that say if you have a certain score between this range and this, you can have this scholarship. Okay, so you'll want to pay attention to your student's SAT score, see if it's worth retaking. Okay, if you are happy and satisfied with your score from last year, your student can send that score to the college or university they're planning to attend. Okay, they don't have to. There's a lot of terms floating around like test optional, test flexible, but you'll want to make sure with each college that you know exactly what that means before making a decision. Scholarships. So I have a wonderful guest who is going to talk about scholarships in more detail in just a minute. But there are several thousands of scholarships out there, and you can't get any if you don't apply. So make the time for scholarships. It's free money that you don't have to pay back, that people want to give away. Okay, so there's local scholarships. A snippet from our website, Mrs. Patrick updates those monthly. Check those often. Okay, make plans, plan ahead for those. Sometimes they require essays, sometimes they don't. But you can't apply for too many scholarships. Okay, there's national scholarship websites like FastWeb. Use the internet like Dr. Jones said, they're everywhere. Okay, and there's also collegiate scholarships. So let's say you want to go to IU, IU will have their own. Even the colleges within the college, like School of Business, they'll have their own. Okay, so you'll want to make sure that you're checking each school's website. Some scholarships and some colleges want letters of recommendation. So in that red folder that your student will get to take home, there's a blue form and it's a student brag sheet. And the form is just this purpose of that, brag about themselves. Okay, so people that are awarding scholarships, they want to know connections, why they should pick somebody, what's their story. They can read their transcript, but that doesn't tell us who they are. Okay, so if your student needs a letter of recommendation, we talk about the process in the senior meetings, but make sure that they fill that out and you can help them do that. Okay, sometimes they forget things that they've done in the past. Financial aid, Dr. Jones touched on this, and our friends at Huntington University could not be here tonight, but they have created a wonderful video. It's 33 minutes long, and we will include that on our school website and make that available to you guys to watch that. Even if you're not interested in HU, you can call her for help, ask her information, but she goes over financial aid in much, much more detail. Okay, so watch this video. We'll get it posted so that you can see that. Again, you can use the QR code for that also. College visits. Seniors can take 2 college visits during a school day and be excused for it. Okay, but to get excused from that, parents, you'll have to call your student into the attendance office, make it known that they're going to be absent, and then students, when you go to the college visit, get some sort of documentation from that university, and on the next school day when you return, bring that information to the attendance office, and then it will get coded as a college visit, and it won't go against one of your parent excused absences. Okay, you get 2 of those. Use them while you can. This is the exciting part. So May 25th is the Sunday. It will be here before you know it. That's graduation. Okay, and how you get your cap and gown is through Herf Jones. That's our vendor for caps and gowns. And new last year is the ordering process changed. Okay, so now it's a rental. You rent the gown, which it sounds kind of silly, and last year people thought, oh man, that's not good, but I always tell my students, I still have my cap and gown from high school. It's tucked away in my closet. It would be really weird if Amazon showed up and I'm hanging out at home, my cap and gown, right? The rental process is just fine. Okay, so you'll go through the process. After graduation's over, get your photos, do all that stuff, then you'll return your gown, and then you'll go find your counselor, and then they'll give you your diploma. Okay, you get to keep your cap and your tassel and all the other stuff that goes with it, just not the gown. Okay, they will be here next Tuesday to talk to all of you guys for a senior class meeting during study hall. Okay, if your student is absent next Tuesday, Herf Jones will leave a packet in the main office. They're welcome to stop by and get one of those packets so that you know how to order cap and gown, graduation announcements, all that good stuff. Now I'd like to introduce you to one of our guest speakers, Amber from the Community Foundation, to talk to you about scholarships.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm Amber, Amber Rensberger, and my husband and I live here in Huntington, raising our family here. Love it. I work at the Community Foundation here in Huntington County, and a lot of people know us for a couple different things. One of the big ones is probably scholarships, but we do a lot. We are a nonprofit organization. We started in the early 90s with 0 assets to our name. Today we are managing 27 million assets, and we are only going to get bigger, which is awesome. We got to hire a brand new employee. If anybody knows Adriana Town from any of her work in Huntington, I know she's worked with some of you guys with Youth for Christ. She is new to our team. We're engaged in a lot of community collaborations, grants and scholarships being big ones, but we do a lot of charitable purposes. All of these things are created by donors, so we don't exist without our donors. And I say that to segue into, I facilitate scholarships. I don't pick the scholarships, I don't pick the criteria, I don't get a vote on them, I facilitate. So I'm here to answer questions, I'm here to walk you through that process. It's not a secret process, it's very transparent, and any questions that you have, I'm here, I'm accessible, and I want to partner with you on that. A really nice perk, I don't know if our director knew that when he hired Adriana and I for our roles, but both of us have, I think, a combined 11 years in higher education before we worked at the foundation. So when it comes to scholarships, you can use our wealth of knowledge above and beyond. So I hope that that's of use to you. Next slide, please. So I have over 80 different scholarships. The nice thing is I'm not going to ask you to search through all the different eligibility, find out hopefully the ones that apply to you, and then pick those ones and apply multiple times. I have one application. It's a little bit longer, but this way you fill it out one time, the system itself will filter you into all the ones that you're eligible for, and you don't have to do that work. As you can see, our dollar amounts range from $250 all the way up to my most recent one, which is a surprise estate gift that I was really excited to get because now I can give a student $40,000. So that's fun. We have, a lot of them are for Huntington County residents, a few of them for the region. But let's say, for example, you live in Markle, and maybe you live on the Wells County side of Markle. Come talk to me. We can work things out. Some of those little nuances, we don't want that to get into why you're not getting funding. Also, please remember a lot of this information after this year. I know a lot of the big push for scholarships, financial funding, people think of that for our traditional 4-year graduating seniors. But I actually have scholarships past that freshman year. So after you have been there and you're in school, come back and reapply on January 1st when it opens again. That's when it opens every year because you're actually eligible for funding past that initial year in college. As you can see, the process is very competitive. I did have my highest number of students ever apply for scholarships last year, which is great. And we had a couple of new scholarships to give out. I already have a new one for this year, so that's great. Also, if you're not looking at a traditional 4 years, maybe you're looking at vocational or some certificate training, also come talk to me because we do have aid for those types of programs or those types of situations. The last thing I'll talk about with this slide is once you have been awarded something, I have this issue all the time. They think, well, I filled out the application, I got awarded, great, I'm good to go. I have follow-ups for you. You actually have to accept it from me. You have to sign an agreement, and I need information about your college so I can send them the money on your behalf. Believe it or not, I don't just give money directly to students because then it never really makes it to college. So I need that information so I can send that out. So please keep your account information, not only to apply for next year, but also so that you can fill out those follow-ups. and so that I don't get calls from your mom, because that's usually who I end up talking to when those aren't filled out. This just talks about something I've already shown, but this is what the website looks like when you get there. It walks you through on the left-hand side how to apply, like how to create your account. But just call me if you have questions. Don't let, signing up for one more thing scare you. You can go ahead to the next slide. If you're applying on your device, I always pull this up because it unfortunately doesn't look as great on the mobile device as it does a computer, but all the way at the top, I've circled those three little arrows, or the three lines. If this screen comes up when you log into your mobile device, click that, because that's what's going to actually take you to the login screen for creating your account. A lot of these things have already been covered by some of our other speakers, so I'll just go through these quickly. Please read all the directions. I really, really hate when I have to count students out for silly little things because they missed it. When I get 120 students that apply, I go through as many as I can and try and catch things, but we can't depend on one person to catch all of that stuff. So please read through things. Make sure that you're attaching the right things to the right PDF notifications, and yeah, just read the directions all the way through. You have to use a non-school email. Again, when you do those follow-ups and I'm trying to get a hold of you and you've used your school email and you've already graduated, I might have to give your scholarship to somebody else. At the end of the day, if those follow-ups aren't completed and I don't have accurate information from you and I can't get a hold of you, I'm not holding the money just because you were awarded initially. You have to complete all the steps. Like she said, think ahead about those character references that you want to do. Please don't surprise them last minute. A lot of our character reference questions are not generic. They're pretty specific, so I like people to have a heads up. You will need an official transcript. We do prefer parchment as well, but you can upload a different one if needed. Meet the deadline. I'm a very empathetic person. I've heard all the stories, but I'm not going to penalize somebody else who got it in on time when you couldn't. So please, please, please pay attention to those deadlines. Oh, that's me. That's who you go to for questions. Like I said, though, Adriana and I can answer a lot of questions regarding maybe some higher ed pieces that go in with that. But that's our team. And if you have any questions, I've got business cards. We're going to stick around for a little bit, so we'll be hanging out over here if you need anything. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. I'm glad that you were here. For real, if you guys need anything, they are awesome, okay? Just have to ask them, email them, or we're happy to do that on your behalf. Just let us know that you need their information, and we'll get that to you. Now, Ms. Drummond, the principal of the Learning Center, will talk about Viking Pride.
Good evening. I wanted to talk to you briefly about this program. This is the statewide work ethic certification program that you may have heard about. This is just Huntington's version of it. So we call it Viking Pride, and it looks at a variety of indicators for students to earn a workforce certification. And we are good. So the PRIDE acronym just breaks down to persistence, respectfulness, initiative, dependability, and efficiency. And this is a certification that your student can choose to earn that will give them a certification that they can take on to future employers. They can include it in their resume and things like that. And the factors that we look at for this program are attendance, discipline, community service, and GPA. And the biggest indicator that our students sometimes have to pay special attention to is the attendance piece. The big thing to know if you choose to be in this program is that you have to have a 98% attendance rate. And the reason they require that is when you go to get a job, your employer is going to expect you to have at least a 98% attendance rate. So what that means is you can only miss 3.5 days is what it comes out to, 4 or fewer sign-in, sign-outs, or tardies. So an excused absence would still be like a doctor's appointment if you bring that doctor's note back to the school. If you do a field trip or a college visit, those are still excused, so you can still do all of those things. But the big change that is different is that, like, if a parent calls you in, unfortunately, that's not just excused, right? So you have to have that documentation to show why you're out, which is similar to what an employer would expect. And so I just like to tell you that up front. I mean, it's okay if you go to the orthodontist, the chiropractor, any of those things, just bring that note back to the attendance office. All right, so again, this is completely optional, but it is something that is valued by our workforce. We have several local employers who offer special incentives. If you're going directly into the workforce, you can show this certification, and they do like preferential interviews, things like that. But this does look good on future applications as well, and it's something that you'll get like a certificate from the state. You can put that out at your graduation open house. So it's totally up to you if you want to do it, but the applications will be coming out on the class of 2025 website soon, and you can just choose to do it. So if you have any questions, students are welcome to email me or stop by my office, but I just wanted to present that opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Drummond. I know students, sometimes you might sit there and you think, well, geez, there's no money tied to that. It's not a scholarship. No, but it's such a great opportunity to add to your resume because you can't have enough things on that as you leave high school, okay? That is all the information that concludes this evening's presentation. I'm going to stick around for a little bit if you have questions right now, but please don't hesitate to reach out to your student school counselor in any time if you need anything, okay? Thanks for coming. Be safe driving home.